It is a universally acknowledged truth that the deep ocean is an alien world best left undisturbed, as its black depths have always been a sanctuary for nature's most ruthless killers, the likes of which have fueled our darkest nautical myths. In the case of Dunkleosteus, picture not the modern abyssal deep ocean, but the dark, open seas of the Devonian. The seas were much different back then. And yet the great white sharks and the killer whales of our modern era are mere shadows when compared to the absolute leviathans that prowled the oceans in the late Devonian period. If we were to time travel back to 360 million years ago, we would witness oceans that were an unforgiving battleground, dominated not by the ancestors of modern sharks or whales, but by a bizarre and terrifying lineage of armored, tank-like fish known as the placoderms, which ruled the waters in what is now famously called the Age of the Fishes. Out of all the ferocious predators to emerge from this ancient evolutionary arms race, the undisputed king of the Devonian seas was a creature so nightmarish that its very skull looks like a prop from a science fiction movie, the mighty Dunkleosteus. The discovery of this true sea monster dates back to 1867, when an amateur paleontologist and hotel owner named J. Terrell was walking the shale cliffs of Lake Erie in Sheffield Lake, Ohio, and unearthed the massive, interlocking armed plates of a creature he simply dubbed the Terrible Fish. Its discovery was a massive hit, but the science took time to catch up. In 1873, it was first formally described as Dinichthyes terrelli, alluding to its nickname of Terrible Fish, before later work reclassified it. Decades of excavation and study followed before this animal was formally placed in the genus Dunkleosteus in 1956, as Dunkleosteus terrelli, a title both honoring Terrell and paleontologist David Dunkel. For nearly a century following its discovery, Dunkleosteus was profoundly misunderstood, with early depictions portraying it as a 30-foot-long, eel-like serpent with a heavily armored head. This image captured the public's imagination, but it strayed from reality. Actually, you might not have ever seen these images, because much of a placoderm's internal, postcranial skeleton was cartilage and lightly ossified tissue that rarely fossilizes. Only their heavily ossified, bony head and thoracic armor were typically preserved in the fossil record, leaving the rest of their body shape to speculation. It was not until very recently that science finally caught up with the true nature of this prehistoric beast, as research flipped our understanding of its size and shape. According to Russell Engelman's work on Dunkleosteus scaling, including a 2023 analysis using the distance from the eye region to the back of the head, Dunkleosteus was no longer a 30-foot serpentine giant at all, but rather a much shorter and significantly stockier animal, measuring roughly between 11 and 14 feet in length. But do not let this downsizing fool you into thinking it was any less lethal, as this creature was built like an absolute wrecking ball, possessing a deep, tuna-like torso with mass estimates that can approach around a ton for a large adult, despite being shorter than many modern super predators. This revised tuna-like body plan suggests it was a highly active pelagic cruiser capable of explosive bursts of speed, driven by massive lateral trunk muscles and a stiffened anterior trunk that allowed it to rocket through the water. Further highlighting its bizarre proportions, Engelman's 2024 reconstruction work argues that its pectoral fin base was relatively large and positioned far forward, unlike modern sharks, which may have given this heavyweight brawler strong control and maneuverability when closing in on prey. Point is, Dunkleosteus was not just a stiff, rigid creature that had trouble moving, quite the opposite, which is what makes it so efficient as a predator. While its newly discovered stocky build is fascinating, the true horror of Dunkleosteus lay at the front of its face, as it possessed one of the most specialized and lethal weapon systems in the history of vertebrate evolution: its jaw. Dunkleosteus completely lacked true teeth. Instead, the bony plates of its skull extended directly into the mouth to form self-sharpening, exceptionally sharp, slicing edges and massive fang-like cusps. As detailed by Engelman and colleagues in their 2025 paper in the Anatomical Record, despite its heavily armored exterior, a surprisingly large portion of the skull of Dunkleosteus may have been cartilage, a feature long underappreciated in older reconstructions. Furthermore, they'd argue that an enormous antorbital jaw muscle, the preorbitalis, occupied a large groove on the face, and likely worked in tandem with the main jaw closing musculature to drive its bite. Dunkleosteus didn't just have jaw muscles working separately, performing different functions. They actually worked in unison, which helped it catch prey better. Operating like a biological guillotine, this jaw was powered by a unique 4-bar linkage system that allowed the mouth to snap open in a lightning-fast 20 milliseconds, according to a study by Anderson and Westneat in 2007. That rapid expansion likely helped the animal seize prey quickly, and it may have actually provided assistance with suction. Although more recent anatomical work has questioned how strong the suction feeding was in Dunkleosteus. Once the prey was inside, the jaw slammed shut, with bite force estimates in the several thousand Newton range in that 2007 modeling, and with extreme localized bite stress at the cutting edges. This meant Dunkleosteus was capable of concentrating extreme stress on a very small area of its sharp edge. Essentially, this means its jaws were really sharp. The same study estimated about 147 million pascals of stress at the fang tip, which is about 21,000 pounds per square inch of localized pressure, and about 107 million pascals at the blade edge. Some older popular retellings compare this to a Tyrannosaurus rex, but the safer claim is simpler. It was an exceptionally powerful cutting and crushing system for a fish, capable of shearing through the armor of other placoderms, and cracking tough-shelled prey like Devonian ammonoid cephalopods. This hellish feeding apparatus, coupled with its robust, hypermuscular build, allowed Dunkleosteus to kill virtually anything in its environment, leading to a highly diverse diet that included early sharks, hard-shell ammonoid cephalopods, and shockingly, even its own kind. Yes, Dunkleosteus were cannibals. At least probably. Direct evidence of this vicious and unforgiving nature has been reported from fossil armor plates bearing deep scrape and puncture marks, consistent with attacks from large arthrodire predators, and in some cases suggested to match Dunkleosteus-like jaws, which raises the possibility of cannibalism without proving it beyond doubt. Yet despite their reign as an apex predator for millions of years, the placoderm's supremacy was not meant to last. Around 359 million years ago, the Devonian period came to a catastrophic close during the Hagenberg event, a mass extinction linked to severe environmental disruption, including widespread ocean anoxia. This collapse devastated marine food chains, and Dunkleosteus, along with every other armored placoderm lineage, vanished from the fossil record. It is a sobering reminder that no matter how impenetrable the armor or how lethal the bite, absolutely nothing can outlast the shifting tides of our planet's climate. By the way, I'm actually quite happy that we went all the way to the Devonian to learn about Dunkleosteus. If you want to see more videos about prehistoric creatures and dinosaurs, subscribe. We need to see more dinosaurs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.